My name is Josua Setlight. How electric works. Everything in scale you as mother from atoms are the material we are made from atoms. The material are just different because the construction of those atoms are certainly different. The atoms are made from their partially two of are found inside the nucleus, and the third party still outside this. At the center of the atom we have the nucleus. Inside the nucleus we have the neutron which have no change, and we also have the protons which are positively charged. The neutrons and the protons are much heavier than the electrons, so this will stay within the nucleus. Surround the nucleus are different layers of orbital cells. There are like flight paths for the electrons. The electrons flow along their flight path smooth, like a satellite orbit or plane. Expand the electrons travel at almost the speed of light. The electrons of negatively charged and they are attracted to the positive charge of the protons. The electrons orbit around the nucleus in the orbital cells, and there are set numbers of have many electrons can be in one orbital cell. The number of proton, neutrons, and electrons. An atom has tells electron very thickly, but some materials will hold on the them more thickly than others. Their outermost cells in now as the flame cells, and in these cells some materials have lessly abound electrons which can flow. The others atoms which can pass electronics are solid construction, and mass materials are construction of the hand atoms which do not have free electrons, and so they can pass electrons between others. Atoms are known as insulator, and there are things like glass and rubber. Now we can combine this material to safely house electrics by having the conductor in the center, which allow electronics to move, but surround this with an insulator to restrict where they can flow the copper atom. You'll see that the free electrons are able to move to other atoms, but this happens randomly in a direction. If we then connect this slick of copper cable to a closet to circuit with a profit source, such as a battery, and then the voltage will force the electrons to move, and this will then flow in the some direction to try and get back to the after terminal of the battery. When inside a circuit, this just mean the route which electronics called flow along between the two terminals, the positive and the negative of a power source. So in case things that the electronics will have to pass through this in order to get to the other terminal. And so we can use this to script ding source us like The circuit and can either be open or closed. In a closed circuit, that means the electronics can flow around. And in open circuit, this means the electronics are not able to flow. Voltage is passing force of electronics with on circuit. It's like pressure in of water. You have, the more water can flow, the more voltage you have. But where does a voltage mean? Well, a volt is a joule per coulomb, and a joule is a measurement of energy or work, and a coulomb is a group of flowing electronics. We have a lot to add. A coulomb is in just a second talk. So a 9-volt battery can provide 9 joules of energy in the form of work of heat per group at electronic that flow from one side of the battery to the others. In this case, the current of electronic flow from one side of the battery through the light bulb, which produce light, and then the electronic flow from to the other side of the battery. Therefore, 9 joules of light and heat is produced by the light bulb. Current is the flow of electronics when a circuit is closed. It means electrons will flow, and when the circuit is opened, the electronics will flow. We can measure the flow of water talks. I pipe to measure the flow of electronics. We as the unit of M. On M means on coulombs per second, and the coulomb is a group in electronics. The group is incredibly large and is approximately 6 billion electronic, and that has to pass in 1 second for it to equal 1 That is why electronics are grouped together and just scaling up to make it easier for engineering.